Hi everyone, Nick here, and today we're having another look at an F1 2020 league race. It's the 6th round of Season 3 of the Serious Racing League, and we're in Mexico for the Mexico City Grand Prix. And as ever, we're in the Williams. It's realistic performance, so just in case you don't know what that means that all the cars are as good as they were in the real life 2020 season. So Mercedes, very good. Williams, very bad. But that's just the challenge of the season. And in the previous race in Canada, we had a really good result. We did really well, finished 4th, and we're really a lot more competitive than I ever anticipated being in the Williams. So the challenge was going to be, can we manage to bring that form forward and continue that momentum? And I was not confident at all, because this track, it's got some very twisty bits in the middle which you really need some downforce for, and it's got a really long straight. To get my Williams round the corners, I need to put extra wing on because it just doesn't have any downforce. If I do that, I'm hopelessly slow down the straight. The alternative is being decent down the straight and or fall through the corners. So essentially there's no real way to win. So yeah, I was, let's just say, not overly confident about my chances here. And one thing that wasn't going to help matters either was that there was going to be a bit of rain in the race. Very bizarre weather forecast of starting off cloudy, then getting very sunny, and then raining. Changeable conditions indeed. But qualifying was dry, so we were going to try and do our best here. And first lap was, I mean, it wasn't, I seem to say this every time, it wasn't bad, it wasn't great though, and I don't know, you can see through these S's, I'm just not really getting into the apexes, not really carrying anything through. This bit was just very, very slow, and yeah, it didn't really work out. Did a 1:16.9, which was, well off what I could do. Heading into the stadium on my second lap, we're doing okay until we get a corner cut on there at the minutest track limits. Would have been a couple of attempts up, wouldn't have set the world alight, but we just bin that straight off and head straight into pits. And I was getting very frustrated at this point because even though I didn't think I was going to have a great race, I still wasn't even going as well as I could. So, as ever, it's all down to lap 3, and let's see how we can do. We're in P16 at this point, so we really need to pull something out to do a little bit better. So the first bit of a lap is very easy, just foot to the floor, power down the straight, and try and pick your braking point for turn 1. I try and brake around where that sort of crane is on the left, a little bit before 100 metres, get turned in early for turn 1, then it opens up turns 2 and 3, and means you can accelerate down this little straight a little bit better. And I've done okay, gained a bit of time. Going through turn 4, brake around 100 metres, third gear, get it switched back, and then open up turn 5 as much as you can. And with a little bit of a wobble under traction, not ideal. This one, you basically, I ignore the first apex and just go over second. And we've got a couple of, 1.5 tenths. Now let's lob it through the S's. So we've made a bit of there. Get it through here. In the Williams, you have to hold it in 6th. You can't really go flat. You can go kind of flat in here in the Mercedes, but you cannot in this car. We're over a third of a second up. Apparently, we've done a purple middle sector. Don't buy that for a second. And it's all down to the stadium section. Very, very sort of Mickey Mouse and sort of just clumsy through here. But we've not really lost any time. Try and get it through there as tight as possible. Get on the throttle as early as possible without spinning it. Tight to the right hand side. And we've done a 1:16.573 to go provisional 13th, which, given that I was doing 1:16 flats in practice, is not what I really thought I could do at all. If we'd managed to do that, I would have been in 8th place, but as it was, 1:16.5 was only good enough for 15th. It's my joint worst qualifying of the season. So that wasn't amazing, was it? Anyway, starting the race, we're going to start on mediums because we know there's going to be some rain, and we're going to try and go a little bit longer into the race and just, see what happens really. So we get away okay, heading down to turn 1, this is always a really tricky one because you get such a big toe, you've got rich fuel and overtake on, and you've got the ability to go 2-3 wide, and then you've got a big crunch at the corner up ahead. So we're nice and cautious there. A couple of cars sort of sneaking around us, and we can see lots of arrows, lots of red arrows as well, but we've managed to get around the outside there, and we're now up into 13. So we managed to make 2 places up, so that's really good. Having a look at DP here as well, who's in 12th ahead of us, and we're thinking about it, we're giving it kind of a bit of space, but he goes really wide into that corner, so we think, okay, well, let's try and go around the outside. Doesn't work because Coulthard ahead shuts the door and DP kind of has to go wide, so fine, don't really mind that too much, and we've held 13th place there. So, okay, we started down in 15th, and 13th isn't where we want to be, but let's see what we can do in the rest of the race. What we can do first of all is understeer massively and get a warning there, and because we have to lift off to try and avoid that, it's opened the door straight away for Hags. So that's down to 14th already. So that positive first 5, 6, 7 corners, yeah, it's already starting to evaporate, but it's okay because the car in front is a Ferrari, and the Ferrari is the slowest thing ever in a straight line, and we've got a straight, and Hags has not the greatest exit there as well, so surely we can just absolutely cruise past him down the straight. And at this point I'm thinking, okay, well, no, this isn't really working. If anything, he's slightly gaining on us. We don't really want to go full send on lap 2. It's a very long race, 36 laps, so we're going to do that. We're going to see what we can do here, but he's always ahead of us, so he's got the line, and he's able to close the door and hold his 12th position, and we're up into 13th. So at this point we're thinking, DNS has been enabled, but we're miles behind the car behind, and Port's behind us in his Mercedes and is not even going to need to wait for DRS to be enabled because he just flies past. And at this point, you probably can't hear me muttering in the background, but we were approaching heads gone status, like full maximum heads gone. The lack of speed in this car was really starting to frustrate me, and I was not overly happy. So you see here, Port, I don't know what he's doing. He's weaving around on the exit there, so he's not getting a great exit. We've got rich fuel on, we've got overtake on, we had DRS on. We can't do anything. He's just so much faster than us down the straight, and we can't do anything. We close a little bit through here. We're very much in a DRS train at this point, so he's obviously getting it as well. But look, you see there, not a great exit. Turn everything on, and nothing. Absolutely nothing. And yeah, I'd kind of just basically thought, unless he goes flying off a track, like there maybe, I'm going to really struggle to get past on track against anyone. But Port's obviously struggling ahead. Hags is obviously struggling ahead. And yeah, it's not going well. So Port is going to have a bit of a moment in his S's. He goes very wide there, but we have to lift off to not join him, and then he comes across, goes off the track on the left-hand side, and that holds us up. And like the first lap, Beckford gets through, and then declines to actually brake at the right point and damages his front wing. So very unfortunate for him, quite unfortunate for us, but we're going to get that place that we gifted to Beckford straight back again, because he is going to peel into the pits for a new front wing. So back in 14th again, and we're now miles behind Port, who dropped off of DRS. So at this point, we're not rubbing our hands with glee here, but thinking, okay, if we're going to have a chance of getting past him, this is the best one. He has no DRS. We've got rich fuel, ERS, DRS, everything, and we are inching closer, but no, it's not going to happen. We turn the fuel and the ERS down and just accept our fate. We cannot overtake in this car. And yeah, that got very frustrating in that I felt like I wasn't able to do anything here. But we were able to gain some places, as you can see, by other people pitting. So all of those people who started in the top 10 on softs, they can't really go that far. So they only went 9, 10, 11 laps. And as a result of that, we were able, by the start of lap 12, able to get up to P9. P9 scenes. The only problem with that was that all of those people who pitted were behind me with fresh tyres. So Stefano was the first person to come and have a go, and well, if you've watched these videos before, you know that Renault is quite handy in a straight line, and he goes past there, and I politely wave him past, as you can see on the left hand side. And yeah, that was yeah, it's always slightly depressing when you get breezed past when you've just basically got no chance. But never mind, we're in 8th place because a couple of people pitted, so even though we lost a place to Stefano there, we actually gained one, and we're going to gain a couple of places here because other people pitting. So we're now up to 6th, and we started 15th, so that's good. Of course, we do still need to pit, and we've done 15 laps on our medium tyres. And essentially what I was thinking at this point was, let's just go as long as possible. We know there's going to be rain at the end. It's saying it's ETA in about 15 minutes, but you can never really tell with some of Jeff's predictions in terms of how long there is until rain is coming, at least. So we went another lap or so, got to lap 15. We were able to jump another car who pitted there and got up into 5th. But then our teammate behind us in the equally crappy Williams had other minds, and he wanted that 5th place instead. So he gets past me there down the straight. Wiggins behind, also thinking about a manoeuvre or just braking a bit late. Not really sure what he's up to there. But yeah, lap 16 felt like the time to come in. So we're going to come in. What we're going to do here as well is we're going to go for medium tyres. This is a bit of a gamble because it kind of means we're waiting for the rain, because obviously in the dry conditions we need to use 2 different compounds. We started on mediums and we're putting more mediums on. Normally we'd think about putting softs on at the end, but what we're going to do is we're going to basically hold on and see what happens with the weather. See if we can get it so that we go medium inters. Could happen. But we're now back down to 15th after that pit stop, a couple of seconds behind the cars in front, and we're back where we started. So 17 laps in, and we've essentially gained absolutely nothing. So that's not great. Not great at all. But we've got, instead of a Mercedes rocket ship in front of us, we've now got an Alfa Romeo. An Alfa Romeo, of course, got a Ferrari engine, so it's not amazing. So again, rich fuel, overtake, DRS, and nothing. So this really helped, but apparently 10 minutes until rain, so it is getting closer apparently, but we'll see, won't we? But you've got Sonny in front of his Mercedes, Coulthard in front there. We're going to gain another place here after Stefano pitted, and amazingly, I mean, okay, he's come out of the pits, but technically we've outdragged the Renault there. I feel like that counts as a minor victory, but of course we all know that that's essentially the most pointless thing we could have done here, because, well, what's going to happen on the next lap? And yeah, exactly, straight at the end of that lap we're going to have a go here. We're going to try and defend, because again we've got DRS and a tow off of Coulthard in front of us. Is that going to be enough to help us? Well, no. We can't catch the car in front, and the car behind us is just going to absolutely annihilate us. He has to brake a little bit later to try and actually get the move done. Goes a bit tight there. Compromises him for turn 3, which then compromises me somewhat. And yeah, I wasn't... At the time I was very unhappy about that, but it's just one of those things. He had the line, and I just got a bit annoyed, whinged a lot on the pie chat, as I have a tendency to do. I mean, as I said, full head's gone already at this point. It's just pretty much anything. So another car was near me on track, just whinged a lot. Very kindly, he let me through, which was completely unnecessary, but again, thanks to that, for that Stefano. So then, of course, we know what happens at the end of the lap. And because we're thinking he didn't need to let us through, we kind of almost do the same to him. So witness the full power of the Renault. Look at it go. That's like an F2 car compared to an F1 car. I'm the F2 car there. GP2 engine, eh? Anyway, lap 25, and we're getting done by cars behind us again. So we've managed to climb up to 13th, but that's now going to become 14th as Owl rockets past in his racing point. So that's us down to 14th, and we're essentially just hanging on here, waiting for the rain to come and seeing what we can do. The other thing we're also trying to keep an eye on here is the penalty situation. As you can see on the top left-hand corner, there's a few cars around us who have got, well, some of them have got significant penalties. Coulthard's got 6 seconds, Port's got 12, and by lap 28 you can see we're starting to get some spots of rain. Didn't really feel too bad, to be honest. I mean, this track's already pretty low grip anyway. But on lap 29 it started getting a little bit slippier, and we picked up a second warning. Now, I said I wanted to try and maximise what I can do on penalties. We're not going to get anything done if we pick up another warning, are we? So, lap 30, definitely getting wetter and definitely thinking about the pits. But then something amazing happens. Coulthard just has no speed down the straights. We turn everything on and we look up the inside, brake nice and late, get the corner done, and we have made an on-track overtake at Mexico in the Williams. Absolutely amazing. Get that on the highlight reel for the season already. So we're going through the stadium at the end of that lap, and Jeff pipes up saying, you might want to check your MFD. Oh, by the way, you might want to come in for inters, literally as I'm passing the pit entrance. So straight in there. Now, I've said before, don't always trust Jeff, but with his tyre choices in terms of going from inters to slicks and slicks to inters, he's usually pretty spot on as well. So, and also at this point we've got nothing to lose, have we? You know, you might as well. So we pit, we've got what, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 6 laps for maths fans, and I hope you were counting along on your fingers there as well. And we come out onto the track in 13th, where we've come out on our inters, and other people in front of us are going to have to pit. We've managed to, using our strategy, do one less stop than most of the other cars. So, people are in the pits, people are exiting the pits here. We managed to get past Stefano again, and that's us up into 9th. Not quite fast enough and far enough down the track to get Owl, but Owl has got 3 seconds worth of penalties in front of us, and he's less than 3 seconds ahead. And Tony ahead of him has got 6 seconds, and he's only 3.3 seconds down the road. So, we've still got something to fight for here. If we can hold this together and have some good pace, then we could still jump them both on penalties. So starting the final lap, Owl is just under 3 seconds ahead and Tony is just under 6 seconds. So this is going to need a good lap for me. So I'm thinking ahead, I need to attack, and then I forgot about Stefano. And for about the 700th time, we get overtaken. We try to battle back and then take our eye off the ball, and we get a corner cut penalty, which then means that we have now got 3 seconds of penalties, and all of that stuff about catching the cars in front is completely pointless. We just let Stefano go at that point because there's just no point. Stefano has never got a time penalty in his entire life. He's not going to get one at this point, so there's no point in me battling him and trying to hold him behind when he's going to jump me on penalties anyway. It's only going to hold me up, and maybe, I don't know, maybe I could have a really good final lap. Maybe one of the cars in front will struggle, and then I can gain on them. But I'd rather get 10th than not. So we'll see. Sonny tries to make it interesting on the final lap, tries to give the viewers something to see. Goes up the inside in there. Still not entirely sure why, but you know, fans wanted it, and yeah, and he had more time penalties than that. I was a little bit less polite to him on the chat, but never mind, Sonny. I know you do it for the fans, and the fans love it, so no problems there. And in the end, I crossed the line in 10th place to claim a point, which I was not overly impressed with, but it wasn't all for nothing, as we were magnificently awarded the Driver of the Day award, which was, I mean, if you look at that drive and don't think that drive deserved Driver of the Day, then I don't know what you're talking about. It was without a doubt an imperious drive that has never been bad before. But yeah, 10th place, and yeah, it's one of those ones where I suppose in reality I probably should take away that was really good, you know. I got a point when I had literally no pace whatsoever. But it was no fun at all to drive, unfortunately. And that point helps me out in the championship by helping me stay in 11th place. So I've got 25 points so far. Some way off the top, but yeah, there's only so much we can do. Mid-table in the worst car. That's not too bad, is it? Not too bad at all. So, what have we learnt? We've learnt that the Williams is very, very bad in Mexico. And we've also learnt that sometimes you just have to try and get the maximum out of what you've got in terms of your hand that you've been dealt. I tried to do the strategy worked. And sometimes I just have to accept that, and sometimes I just have to say, okay, look, if I'm going to get overtaken by faster cars, just let it happen. Don't let it wind me up. If I can't overtake the cars in front, fine. Let them go and get time penalties. Let them take an extra pit stop. Let them do something wrong. Focus on my race. Focus on what I can do. And maximise that. And in the end, I kind of did do that in terms of my result. But in terms of mindset, I was just all over the place. And yeah, I'm surprised that I managed to get out of that race with, well, no damage. You usually get damage in Mexico. Lap 1's an absolute nightmare for it. So yeah, did pretty much about as well as I think I could have done, really. There's only a point. But no, it's a good point. It's a good point. Let's savour the point. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you thought of the video in the comments below. Let me know what you liked, and if there's anything you think could be improved. Always open to suggestions to make these highlights that little extra bit thrilling for the viewers at home. And if you want to keep in touch on social media, then why not hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, or Discord. Details are in the description below. And if you haven't already done all the liking and subscribing stuff, then, well, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and do that. And if you want to see these league races live as they happen, then you can check them out on my Twitch channel, which is on the screen right now. They're every Wednesday and every Sunday. So why not pop along for a race one of those evenings? Hopefully see you at some point in the future. But until then, and the next video, goodbye.